Allies win the war. They now bomb Baghdad to win the peace.
Guildford 4 arrested for Birmingham pub bombings.
And British Rail say they don't teach drivers to stop trains because they so rarely have to start them.
The war is over. But we can't accept the Iraqis simply withdrawing from Kuwait. We have to humiliate Saddam Hussein.
That's right.
So here are my proposals. 1, we steal all his clothes while he's in the shower. 2, we make him attend a surprise party where cine films of him as a child in the bath are shown. 3, we get him to pose as a page 7 fella for the Sun. 4, we get him to go into the chemist for pile cream and get the assistant to shout out, "How much for the hemorrhoid, Doreen?" 5, we stick a note on his back saying, "I'm stupid, kick me."
The Iraqis have wrought havoc here in Kuwait City.
Yes.
They have stolen supplies and destroyed buildings.
Well, don't worry. We will make sure that Saddam and his cronies will have to pay for all the damage and crime they are responsible for.
Really?
Yes, of course.
Look here in my garden where they have cruelly dug up and transplanted my swimming pool before carefully filling in the hole afterwards. And what will I do without my top-of-the-range fridge freezer?
Yes, and our summer cottage was razed to the ground.
Really?
There is not a sign left of the Kuwait City Fun Fair and 25-screen cinema.
And look around you. They have reduced the countryside around our city to desert. Before we had verdant green pastures and purple-headed mountains.
Cascading waterfalls and snow-topped ski resorts have all been decimated.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, we shall never be able to rebuild our utopia.
Never.
But we'll accept a check. Okay, 43. We loosen the toilet seat so that it falls off when he sits on it and then try and make out he broke it. 44. We give him a cash point card that always tells him to refer to his branch, especially when he's in a long queue. 45. We knock him down with a tank while he's not wearing clean underwear.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Sue. So, Kuwait has been liberated. That's terribly good news, and something we should all thank God for. But, on the other hand, it's really awful that lots of people have had to be killed for it to happen. Yet, on another hand, perhaps using force against tyranny is the lesser of the two evils. Still, on a fourth hand, it would be so much better if President Bush and Saddam Hussein could just sit down and have a jolly good chat to sort out their differences. I think our duty as Christians must surely be to sort of want the Allies to win, but not to be too pleased about it if they do.
That was the fairly reverend, ever so nice man with Thought Up in the Taxi on the way to the studio.
Now, you said, Archbishop, that to prevent women becoming priests is heresy.
Yes.
That's fairly radical.
Yes, I think so.
Does this mean the Church is trying to become more relevant to contemporary society?
Yes, I think it does.
Well, I'm sure a lot of women will be very gratified to hear you say that.
I hope so. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
No, go ahead.
What exactly is a woman?
It's List Lunacy in the new edition of the Radio Times.
With full lists of all BBC programmes
And lists of all independent television, too. Check it.
and complete lists of satellite viewing.
And the civil list, which details my income.
And the Fat Stock Price List, a comprehensive guide to current fresh meat value.
And, hang on, what's this on page 9? Sock, sellotape, cooking fat and jam.
It's a shopping list.
That's handy.
Yes, that's right. There certainly are a lot of lists in the new Radio Times.
I never knew there were so many lists in it.
All this plus 13 pages of holiday ads for cottages in Tempe. At 50p, it's Britain's bulkiest buy.
Humiliating experience for Saddam, number 312. Travelling in a London taxi.
Hilton, and stop on it.
What up? Well, what about this war then, Gov, eh?
What?
Yeah, them Arabs, I wouldn't trust them further than not to throw them, you know what I mean? That Saddam Hussein should be strung up. It's the only language these people understand. Oh, present couple except, of course.
Hello? Is that Admail Plymouth? I'd like to order some DD7 cleaning liquid, please.
No, this is the 4th Division of the Iraqi Army. You had the wrong number. But look, we surrender anyway.
And now we go over to our chief news correspondent, Kate Adie.
The golden orb of the sun hangs drunkenly in the stultifying embrace of the smouldering desert air. This pregnant dust bowl is alive with the sound of armor on the move, like some giant Hyperborean monster pursuing primordial migratory instincts. Outlined stark against the burning horizon are drifting forms erect and proud. Latter-day Hectors confronting the faceless armies of evil and the fears within their own warlike breasts. One approaches me now. Speak, warrior king.
That Saddam's a nutter, and he's going to get his bottom spanked.
News just in.
Another high street bank today announced it was shedding 17,000 jobs. A spokesman for the bank said, "Does anyone out there need a spokesman?"
There now follows a message to the nation from Her Majesty the Queen.
Hello.
Her Majesty the Queen.
And now here's next week's news. The weekend. The rector, who advertised his church on beer mats in local pubs, says he's delighted the congregation has increased, but he can't keep up with the demand for smoky bacon communion wafers. After a stegosaurus is found in the Cotswolds, local residents say that they knew it was there, but it hadn't been there long enough for them to be formally introduced.
Monday. Following firm denials that Mrs. Thatcher plans to leave Parliament at the next election, her colleagues finally realize that she has decided to go. Plans for cricketers to use a new electronic umpire are scrapped after players complain that the device cannot be heard when 11 jumpers are wrapped around it.
Tuesday. In Islington, the organisers of the video show which invited visitors to meet Jeremy Beadle say they didn't really want anyone to turn up anyway. Magistrates who granted a reprieve to the Alsatian which bit Nigel Lawson's wife say they think it has suffered enough.
Wednesday. Responding to claims that fish fingers contain 20% water, manufacturers agree that it makes them rather tasteless and undertake to remove the fish.
Thursday. At the funeral of Alex Badenoch, the leading urologist who specialised in prostate operations, as a mark of respect, the anticipated flood of mourners is reduced to a trickle. The dolphin that was sexually assaulted is told by a High Court judge that she was asking for it by swimming naked and batting her eyelashes.
Friday. After a survey shows that a quarter of video recorder owners don't know how to work them, it's revealed that they're the ones without children. Health board officials who prosecuted a bogus dentist say that they were alerted when patients complained of being undercharged for treatment. British troops in the Gulf are promised a return to a land fit for heroes. They're given a choice between Sweden, Germany, or Japan.
Liverpool have at last found a manager who can stand the pressure. He's a Winnie Mandela trial witness.
British Rail admits that half its commuter trains are overcrowded, while the other half are cancelled.
And Princess Eugenie of York speaks her first word. Nanny.
Weekending March the 8th. A look back at the last 7 days.
Welcome aboard this Iraqi prisoner of war repatriation flight. Emergency life jackets are under your seat. About 20,000 feet under, in fact. Passengers will note that the smoking section is to the right of the aircraft. This is called Basra. Just let that be a lesson to you. As we land at Baghdad Airport, please do not be alarmed by any turbulence. This is quite normal when heavy transport aircraft try to land on runways littered with unexploded cluster bombs. Finally, please remember to take all your possessions with you, and not other people's. This isn't Kuwait, you know.
And now, before the next item, here is a special announcement. The BBC has received several complaints about last week's item featuring Kenny Dalglish, which suggested that he doesn't speak very clearly. We would therefore like to issue the following apology.
At the end of the day, because Kenny Dalglish.
Here we are, Philip.
Yes.
This disused car lot round the back of a West Midlands pub should be safe enough.
Yes, good. I want this sorted out once and for all. And I've got a pony says mine's the best fighting corgi in the kingdom.
And one's got a monkey says he isn't. This is one round competition of 2 falls, 1 submission or a leg being bitten off.
Right.
It's 500 sods to the winner, and we want a good, clean fight. Go to it, Nasher.
Get him, Runcie!
Go on, my son. Give him some stick. Tear his ears off.
Come on, Runcie. Hit him in the tackle region. Put the paw in.
Oh, you can have him any time, Nash. Get stuck in.
Free Winnie Mandela. Well, it's best to be prepared, isn't it? Free Winnie Mandela.
Scrap the poll tax. Can't pay, won't pay. Scrap the poll tax. Can't pay, won't pay.
Hi, Jake. What's going down?
Not the poll tax. Can't pay, won't pay.
Some places it's going down. And what's this can't pay bit? You really can't pay?
Well, scrap the poll tax. Could pay, won't pay.
Could?
Can easily pay, won't pay. Probably. Will.
That's better.
Scrap the poll tax. Have paid but wasn't very keen. Scrap the poll tax. Have paid but wasn't very keen.
And now we go over to our financial expert, Pamela Sinden.
People often ask me, Pamela, just what does the council do with our poll tax money? Well, here's the answer. For convenience sake, let's say that the average poll tax bill is £1,000. Because goodness knows it soon will be. Just my little joke, Mr. Heseltine. £300 of your money goes on sending out payment reminders, reminding all the people who haven't paid and most of those who have about their payment reminders. £250 is spent on the elderly. That's the postage and office costs of sending out bills for just 1 pence to all the pensioners in the borough, who then can have the pleasure of writing to the tabloid newspapers to complain. £300 goes towards the cost of employing enough people at the poll tax office so that no matter how many times you ring, you will never get through to anyone who is dealing with your problem before. And £200 of your money goes towards paying the man whose job it is to lay off workers and shut down services. All this makes a total of £1,150, leaving £50 to go on next year's bill. Good night. Jobs Kenny Dalglish should not do, number 45, the bomb disposal expert.
There's only 10 seconds till she blows. Oh, which wire should I cut, Kenny?
I think the other one.
The blue one? Right, here comes.
I wanted a Zane.
Hello, we're the Birmingham Six. We've washed in soap and water all our lives. But then Oil of Ely asked us to try this new lotion type stuff. But we're not convinced.
Later.
We don't believe it. This Oil of Ely embrocation leaves our skin feeling soft, yet not dry. And furthermore, it comes up negative in all forensic tests. We're convinced we'll never use soap again.
Soap, be alert. Here are some of the ways that subversive elements in our society might use soap against us. Unattended soap left on a busy pavement or station platform can cause people to fall over and twist their ankles. Soap put in someone's eye while they're showering can cause a painful stinging sensation, especially if the towels have all been removed, too. Several bars of soap could be molded into a makeshift rucksack or hold-all in which quantities of explosives or dismantled arms could be cunningly hidden. Soap, secretly added in large quantities to stores of cement, could result in the construction of buildings and bridges which, when it rained, would bubble and dissolve, causing danger and delays to traffic. News just in. There have been clashes with riot police as thousands of refugees flee across the border separating Lambeth and Wandsworth borough councils.
One of the Queen's corgis has been renamed Sunday Times for its vicious attacks on the monarchy.
And fears of environmental catastrophe in the Gulf have receded when it was confirmed today that the burning oil was in fact unleaded.
Jobs Kenny Dalglish should not do, numbers 93 to 120.
93, translator at UN peace summits. 94, Lester Pigott, speech therapist. 95, next Speaker of the House of Commons. 96, a British Rail station announcer. 97, the new presenter of Pick of the Week. 98, the narrator of Talking Books for the Blind.
Hello, this is Weekending Answer. Just leave a message and...
sorry, Kenny, I don't think this is really you.
Well, yes,
This is the Weekending Answer phone. Please leave your name and message, and we'll get back at you.
We'll get back here. Durham here. If God had meant us to watch victory parades, he would have made all those who have to stand near the back at least 6 inches taller, wouldn't he? If indeed he exists at all, that is.
Good, it's a machine. I do so prefer talking to objects rather than subjects. You know, people often say to me, Charles, you can be a prat sometimes, to which I reply, Mother, or Diana, whichever it is, I'd really rather be king most times, which is why I suggested we should adopt this PR method of voting. After all, it would be rather nice to get my fair share of the monarchy. Oh, well, as Peter once said, pull your fingers out before your eyes go slitty.
This is Saddam Hussein, just proving that I really am still around. No, you haven't heard the last of me. Last of me. Last of me.
This is great viewing. Yeah, take it.
Mother? What's this? What on earth are you watching?
Oh, it's nothing, Mum.
It's one of those rude videos your friend David gives you, isn't it?
No, it's Screen 2. It's an artistic film on BBC 2. It's all culture and that. Straight up, and no mistake.
So this is art, is it?
Yeah, it's an appreciation of sexuality, the naked female form and hot three-way action. It really makes you think about intellectual sort of things, I mean.
I see. Well, in that case, I'll watch it with you.
Oh.
Hello, Midland Bank.
Are you the listening bank?
Yes.
Well, listen to this. You rubbish.
And now here is next week's news. The weekend. Mark Thatcher, stung by allegations that he's used his name to amass a £40 million fortune, changes it to Peter.
Monday. British Telecom announces cheaper calls. A 3-minute local call costing 25 pence will now only cost 20 and will last 1 minute.
Tuesday. Rumours that Fiat Cars will be investing in the Observer are confirmed when the front page of the latest edition goes rusty in the rain.
Wednesday. The Midland Bank's application for a refinancing package is turned down on the grounds of unpredictable earnings. Friday. Following publication of the £3 million will left by writer Roald Dahl, hopeful beneficiaries discover that the final paragraph contains an unexpected twist. And finally, the courting couple whose car rolled towards the edge of a cliff while they were inside say it was one time they were glad the earth didn't move for them. And that is the end of next week's news.
Week ending March the 15th. A look back at the...
The patient is now fully anesthetized, and we can proceed with the virgin birth artificial insemination operation. Swab.
Swab.
Syringe.
Syringe.
Frankincense.
Frankincense.
Heseltine, have you finished your alternative to the pale pack?
Yes, I have, John, but I'm a little concerned that it's going to be equally unpopular.
Oh, yes?
Well, it's a bit right-wing, John.
Come on, out with it. What is it?
It's, Norris McWhirter.
You're fired, Heseltine.
And news just in. After a female journalist described seeing him walking around naked, Paul Gascoigne complains that some parts of the story were not exaggerated. The Cub Scout who crammed 120 items into a matchbox has been taken on by the TV Times as editor of their radio pages. Visitors to the art gallery in Newbury, which is displaying a 10-foot sculpture made of dung, say they find it uncanny the way the flies follow you around the room.
The 4 lions that escaped from captivity in Grimsby last Saturday night have been found safe and well back in their cages. Apparently they couldn't find anything to do.
Hello, this is the week-ending answer phone. If you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we'll get back at you.
Hello. The Bishop of Durham here. You know, I'm all for changes. Changes to this, changes to that, changes in religious services, changes to the Bible, but some things in this crazy world of ours are more important than all that old rubbish, and should never be changed. And one of them is the Beano's cheeky Dennis the Menace character. Heavens above! In his proposed new outfit of jeans and trainers, he looks like a Church of England vicar.
Michael Carr here, new Liberal Democrat MP for Ribble Valley. No message, just thought I'd best get my name on while I can.
This is Václav Havel. You may have heard a silly rumor that Czechoslovakia is to be split in 2. Well, it's unthinkable. I'll admit it might suit the Slovaks. After all, Slovakia doesn't sound too bad, does it? But who the hell wants to live in a place called Czechoslovakia?
Hello, Mary Whitehouse here. Just to say that I abhor the idea of a virgin birth. There is only one way to procure children, and that's sex. Lots and lots of sex. Sex, 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 and more sex. Sex in a car, sex on the settee, sex on a Club 1830 holiday, sex with a complete and total stranger, sex with your socks on, sex with your leather gear on, sex with your telly on, which is showing loads and loads of sex. Warm, lovely sex, wet, groaning sex. Oh, sex. Oh.
Yes, Durham here again. I do wish you people wouldn't keep referring to virgin births. If the good Lord had wanted us to believe such things were possible, he would have put a little note to that effect in the Bible, wouldn't he?
Now then, Rifkind, you had better have a jolly good explanation for the way you handled the Air Europe fiasco.
Yes.
You allowed thousands of people to lose their jobs. You knew of the imminent financial collapse, and yet still you did nothing.
Yes.
Well, what's your excuse?
I'm sorry, Prime Minister. I thought I was still Secretary of State for Scotland.
Oh, yes.
Are you really George Bush, President of the United States of America?
Yes, I really am George Bush, President of the United States of America.
Go on then, prove it.
Oh, let's have a look in my wallet, little fella. Hey, here we go. Here's my credit card.
George Bush. Gee, you really are the president.
Yeah.
Does that mean I really am the vice president?
Yes, it does, Dan. Anything else?
No, that will be all for the time being, Mr. President.
Boy, what an idiot. Hey, where's my credit card?
And now here's next week's news. The weekend. The doctor, who has identified a new type of neck strain afflicting car phone owners, says that the problem is not actually caused by using the car phone, but by continually turning round to make sure everyone is watching you use the car phone.
Monday. Frank Bruno's announcement that having sex was more stressful than fighting Mike Tyson is finally explained by the discovery that both activities take him the same amount of time.
Tuesday. At a memorial service for the original Dulux dog, some of the mourners find themselves overcome with emulsion.
Wednesday. Police in Australia, who say they were attacked by a gang wielding frozen kangaroo tails, are told that not even the West Midlands police would try to get away with a story like that.
Thursday. The journalist who claims that in private the Queen rolls her own cigarettes says she doesn't smoke in public, though she may occasionally put one behind her ear for later.
Friday. The widow of Hector Crawford, the producer responsible for many of Australia's top soap operas, announces that her husband will be interred at 1:30 on Tuesday, 5:30 on Thursday, and again on Sunday. And that is the end of next week's news.
Directory inquiries. How would you like to pay?
Credit card, please.
Name on the card.
Alan Jones.
Address.
8 Gate Hill, Esher.
The number you require is 081-867-4536.
Hold on.
And now, full details of the exam papers for those tests on 7-year-olds.
Question 1. Which zombie in Night of the Eyeball-Chewing, Death-Spewing Hate Creatures had its brain sucked out through a straw by hell-spawned swamp monsters?
Question 2. Which is better, football or girls?
Question 3. Can you show the teacher how to set the video recorder?
Question 4. How far can you spit to the nearest centimeter?
Little George Bush sat on his tush while the Kurds got blown away. He said it makes sense to sit on the fence, 'cause the Kurds have no oil anyway.
Having Gay Council.
Hello, this is the independent but oppressed people of Kurdistan here. We were wondering if we could rent one of your small council allotments to establish a free and sovereign nation of Kurdish citizens, whereby we may settle at last on a small patch of land, albeit only 12 foot by 4, but to us, home.
No. News just in. U.S. claims that 33 British firms collaborated with the Iraqis were denounced as rubbish today, when new figures showed there are no longer 33 British firms left.
A report that some types of soft ice cream on sale in Belgium may contain bacteria levels above European Community guidelines today led to claims that the country is now twice as interesting.
Derek Hatton said he had absolute proof he could not have defrauded Liverpool ratepayers. He said that while he was in power, nobody paid their rates.
And now here is next week's news. The weekend. The boy who solved an incomprehensible puzzle in 33 seconds is hired to write the next series of Twin Peaks.
Monday. The war artist who painted the first picture of the Gulf War in oils tries to achieve realism by setting fire to it.
Tuesday. Reports that Meryl Streep says the only way to get a part in Hollywood is to have an impressive cleavage are confirmed by all the leading roles given to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wednesday, following the Green Party request to leave holes in roofs so that birds can fly in and out, thousands of Britain's schools are given a Nature Conservancy award. After a man bought a Cinderella video for his granddaughter, which turned out to be a blue movie, he says he was shocked. All he'd wanted was a nice film about a girl living with two transvestites with a thigh-slapping female cross-dresser for a boyfriend.
Thursday. At the funeral of Ian McLennan Hunter, who scripted many episodes of the Robin Hood TV series, the coffin is rescued from the grave at the last minute.
And Friday, the survey which claimed that on average Britons spend half their leisure hours watching television further claims that the other half is spent trying to program the video. And that is the end of next week's news. Apart from...
At last, a tiny patch of space we Kurds can finally call our own. A little portion of this dark, hostile world where we can settle. Quick, let us plant our flag here before the...
Weekending featured...